Hey mamas, we're diving into helping your teen girls embrace mindfulness, not just for their own peace of mind, but to build awareness of how their actions really do impact others. We're going to explore ways to encourage your daughter to be more thoughtful and considerate without stepping on her own independence. Isn't that what we all want, mama? To be thoughtful and more considerate. If you're looking to help her balance self-awareness with empathy and really teach her that the world isn't just about what she wants and it doesn't revolve around her, then I want you to hang in there. It's all about raising your girl to think of others as well as themselves, and that is okay. Grab your notebook. Here we go. Mama, are you finding yourself feeling frustrated with trying to figure out your girl and not getting far with the questions you ask her? And you literally get one-word answers or even the silent treatment. I honestly read many books to unravel this mystery of connecting with my own girl. I question, am I doing this right? What if I say something that will cause detrimental consequences in our relationship? Or even worse, am I pushing her away so that she will never want to share anything with me again? Okay, maybe that was a tad bit dramatic for me to go there with my thoughts, but I truly worried over these things because I desired a closer relationship with my daughter than I had with my own mom when I was a teenager. So I decided things will change. I asked myself, what did I need as a young teenager from my mom, and go do that. I am able to connect with my girl, where as an older teen now, she kind of FaceTimes me every night as she is away from home. I mean, who does that, right? She checks in with me and she is open to share because I know we have done the work to establish this safe space for her to talk with me. So I want to help you, mama, do the same. My Talk to Your Teen Girl framework allows you to go through a step-by-step guide to communicate with your teenage daughter. You are going to customize your own communication plan that you and your daughter can utilize to build and strengthen trust and relationships with one another. You're going to be creating new communication pathways that fit her in this stage. So mama, I want you to head on over to talktoyourteengirl.com right now and check out what's next for you. You don't need to figure this out on your own. Let's walk side by side. That's talktoyourteengirl.com. I'll see you there. Hey mama, welcome to Raising Her Confidently. Do you want to have open communication with your teen daughter? Do you find yourself constantly thinking about how to talk to your teen or why your girl is not opening up to you? Do you wake up with confident intentions only to feel confused and frustrated when all you get are one-word answers from your daughter again? Hey, I'm Jeannie. I too was a mom raising young teens. I too felt grieved by the loss of my sweet, talkative little girl. I wanted her to come to me about anything, even if she was scared, and listen to my advice. But I kept thinking, she won't listen to me, and I don't know how to approach her until I found tools to create open communication. In this podcast, you will find how to connect and talk to your teen and create a safe space for her to go to so that you will have that close relationship you dreamed of. Go grab your glass of Merlot and throw off those fuzzy slippers, and let's dig in together. Okay, we're talking about mindfulness, which, I mean, it can come across as a buzzword, but it really holds some practical value. You know, mamas, we're constantly trying to get our teens to be more mindful, but we also want to respect that their independence as well without feeling bad or shameful about it, even with their unique personalities. But I also know and understand, being a mama myself and being that teenage daughter, that there's nothing more annoying than having and watching somebody really not think about others, and it comes across very rude and self-centered. So today we're going to explore how to help your daughter become more mindful of themselves and those around them without it feeling like you're nagging them or making them do this, really, right? So if you're ready to learn how to foster a bit more awareness, empathy, and connection in your home, I'm going to give you 5 tips in doing so. So here's a first tip. What mindfulness means for teens. Okay, let's talk about that. What does mindfulness mean for teens? Mindfulness isn't just about deep breathing or sitting still when you think about yoga and being mindful. For teenagers, it can look like being aware of their own thoughts, their feelings and reactions, right? Being mindful of what they're feeling, like pausing and really thinking about what their reactions are, really knowing and reading their bodies, right? It's also about recognizing the impact that those thoughts and feelings can have on others, right? If they choose to react on it. It's an approach that can help them really slow down and manage their stress and connect with others in a more meaningful way, right? Qualities that are pretty valuable in a fast-paced and often self-centered world, right? So we're going to teach them to swim against the stream and really teach them what mindfulness is like for them. And as we know, teens are at that age where they crave independence. So our goal here isn't really to teach them to prioritize other people over themselves. That's not what we're saying, that what they're thinking for themselves must be worth less than what others are thinking about themselves. That's not at all what mindfulness is, but it's really to help them find the balance between the two. We want them to become aware of how their actions and words might affect others, really without losing their own sense of self, right? If they're truly thinking that, we're not asking them to shut their voice or shut their opinions down, but what we're doing is just being mindful of the person that's going to be receiving it. How can we help her still voice her opinion, but in a more mindful and respectful way? So I'll be sharing some simple practical tips to help you guide your daughter towards mindfulness. And the first is to start with self-awareness. Self-awareness, this is the foundation of mindfulness. And it's an area where you can help your daughter start without being pushy. Encourage her to notice her own feelings. Have her stop when she says, I'm not feeling good right now. Then have her stop to really look inward. You might say, you seem upset right now. Do you know why? What do you think would help you feel better in this moment? What do you need? Questions like these give her a space to really identify her emotions, put words to what she's feeling without feeling judged or attacked, right? And another great way to foster self-awareness is through journaling. I love journaling, and I've shared it so many times. And actually, the love of journaling has been adopted by my daughter herself, who has taken on that habit of writing down her thoughts and her prayers and her feelings. Teens might not be interested in writing full pages every day, but they might enjoy jotting down a few lines, maybe a few keywords about what they felt during the day. Or if she's more creative and artistic, maybe she's going to draw or color something, right? Some teens are open to reflective prompts, like, what was something that made you feel good today? Or was there something that upset you? And how did you handle it? These simple prompts can help her start connecting with herself. Another is developing empathy and consideration for others. Once she's able to tune into her own feelings first, empathy is the natural next step. This is where we can help her consider other people's feelings and needs too. It's as simple as noticing when somebody else is having a tough day, or when somebody could use a kind word or a little bit of encouragement, right? That requires for her to stop and really pay attention what's around her instead of looking down on her phone. For example, if a family member seems upset, you might model empathy by saying, it looks like Dad's had a rough day. Let's give him some space or offer to help. Or it could be, it looks like he's been busy in the office all day. So my husband works from home part-time and goes into the office other days of the week. And sometimes his door remains closed. And one way to be mindful is, wow, he's been in the office all day. Maybe we can make him a meal and give it to him, right? That's being mindful. Another approach is to gently ask your daughter how she thinks her actions affect others. This is the key word, gently ask your daughter, right? Instead of, it really means, I teach this in Talk to Your Teen Girl framework. It's your tone that matters most. You can say gently, even the word gently and gently in a way where she's going to feel judged. So if she has a disagreement with a friend, for example, you might ask, well, how do you think she might have felt about what you said? Again, no judgment, just curiosity. If you keep the tone non-critical, she's more likely to consider these things on her own over time. So when I say non-critical, her tone being non-critical, it's nonchalant. I know my daughter had mentioned this in her last interview I had with her on this podcast, and she said, don't make a big deal of it. Don't put any excitement into your tone when she's finally opening up to you. And this is exactly it, so that she doesn't feel judged or overly insecure by your tone and what you're saying, because she's super sensitive about it. Another is practicing mindfulness in everyday situations. So mindfulness doesn't have to be a big production. It can just be as simple as asking her to slow down and think before reacting. Sometimes it's a pause and maybe a quick prayer to change her heart and shift what she's feeling. Maybe when she gets frustrated, you remind her to take a couple of deep breaths before responding. My older son, I would tell him to just breathe in, count to 4, breathe out, and see if that regulates his body from racing and to feel heated. He literally can tell me when he's angry, he starts to feel hot in the neck, and to utilize the deep breaths to help him kind of slow down his response, his physical response to what's happening around him has actually really helped. And maybe this can help your daughter too. Or if she's feeling overwhelmed, encourage her to take a break, step away, and focus on just one thing that she can do in that moment, right? So it's really understanding how your daughter, and it's also us observing and understanding how our daughter ticks, right? And understand, like, we know that when there's something going on, to be able to come in a gentle way and remind them of tools that they can utilize to get them back in a place where they are a little bit more mindful about themselves and how they're feeling, so that in turn, they're still mindful of how they react with others. And then the last is really building a family culture of mindfulness. Not just your daughter, but everyone in the family, right? We want to encourage mindfulness and make it part of your family culture. Show her that mindfulness isn't just a skill, it's a lifestyle. It's something we do. We're constantly thinking of others and ourselves, and understanding where we are in that moment. You might do a simple gratitude practice at dinner, right? Where you ask what you're grateful for. One thing that we've done in the past while we were eating dinner is each of us go around the table and what made you mad, glad, or sad today. It could also be just sharing one mindful moment from your day. It could be something as small as noticing the way the leaves look in the evening sun, or something that small, right? Or enjoying the quiet morning. Mindfulness is about appreciating the little things and being present in the moment, right? This is what we're trying to teach our girls, is to be present in the moment. Sometimes we are so caught up in social media world, which is huge, and we forget that we're sitting on the couch, family or even their dog sitting right next to them. So remember, teens are watching our example too, more than you know, right? So if we're mindful in our own reactions and are respectful of others' boundaries and needs, they're more likely to pick up on those a lot quicker for themselves. So there you go. 5 things to help your daughter grow in mindfulness. And it takes time, mama, and patience and a little creativity, but the benefits are so worth it when we allow our daughters to pause. I think that's something that we lack a lot, and something I have actually had to learn as an adult is to be present, to stop myself and understand, where am I in this moment? It's nothing like synergetic, but it's really understanding yourself in this moment and how you're going to be reacting with others. Because if we're not aware of our feelings, our reactions, what's happening to us, what our thoughts are, then it'll come out in a way that reflects what we're feeling in the moment towards others. And sometimes that is not okay, right? And you probably feel that. You probably were on the tail end of your daughter's reactions and feelings and thoughts, and the way she was reacting to you has nothing to do with you. You just happen to be in the path. So if we can teach our girls to be mindful of themselves first, so that they can be mindful of their reactions and the way they choose to act towards others, right? And then fostering that as a family culture within your family, that this is just how we are. We are mindful about our personal feelings, thoughts, because we were responsible. We are responsible for our own, right, reactions and choices that we make. It's really about helping your daughter make those small intentional shifts that will carry over into their relationships and their own sense of self and their approach to the world. So mama, this is so important. I want you to think about what is one thing you can help guide your daughter through. Maybe it's going back and having her be mindful about her feelings. Is she able to identify her feelings and her thoughts and her reactions? Are you able to identify her feelings, thoughts, and reactions just by looking at her? Do you know when she's upset? Do you know when there's something wrong? And gently ask those questions. Well, I hope this has helped you, mama. And if you find yourself confused even more about how exactly do I do this? How do I know? I have a course for you. It's called Talk to Your Teen Girls Framework, where I teach you how to communicate with your daughter, especially about how to guide her through mindfulness, how to have those conversations where she's not feeling judged, where she's not feeling like you're telling her what to do or that you're nagging her, but she genuinely is accepting your guidance so that she can transform into this person that values herself as well as others, right? So I hope that helps you. And if you're interested in that Talk to Your Teen Girl framework, go to talktoyourteengirl.com, check out the details. And maybe this is the time for you to jump in on that course so that you can create open communication with her. That's talktoyourteengirl.com. I'll see you next time. Hey friend, if this podcast inspired you or encouraged you or helped you in any way, I'd love for you to share it. You can screenshot this episode and share it in your stories on social media or text it to a friend who can use the support. It's the best way you can thank me. I want to let other mamas know they are not alone. I'd love to stay connected with you. You can find me at raisingherconfidently.com. Until next time, live full of grace, Jeannie.